Welcome, one and all SRL fans out there, to round 10. Up here on the glitzy, glamorous Gold Coast Strip, we've got the Titans playing host to the Raiders, flying all the way up here from our nation's capital. I'm A-Mac in the box, and joining me tonight is Liam Ryan. Liam, this is going to be one hell of a round considering how topsy-turvy round 9 was.
Yeah, absolutely, Mate. This round, it's certainly going to be a hell of a round, and what a way to start it. The Canberra Raiders and the Gold Coast Titans, they're both coming off losses from last week in round 9, and the Titans, they're obviously the home side tonight. They came off a 19 to 18 points loss to the Manly Seagulls last week, and they certainly have a point to prove, whereas the Raiders, they came out losers to the Canterbury Bulldogs. 36 points to 18. It was a bit of a hefty loss, and both these sides, they've made changes during the week, and neither of these sides have been too happy with how they've played over the last couple. So they're looking to bounce back as we see James Goblin looking to kick off as the Raiders. They have a couple of debutants tonight, mate?
Yeah, we've got, unfortunately for Riley Flynn, down in the nation's capital, a couple of boys found it way too cold in the middle of spring, so they've decided to go to warmer pastures, heading over to the Japanese Rugby League sites. And we've got Jake Eads floating in at number 4, followed by Nathan Flynn, a close relative of Riley Flynn, sitting in at the number 6. So coming in mid-season is never the best time to be picked up by a club, but it's better playing out there on the field than it is sitting on the sidelines, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the uh, exuberance of youth is certainly a good thing for the Raiders to have. I know the stats might not agree, but getting some fresh legs out there certainly might help the Raiders here.
As well, defensively, the Raiders are doing a mammoth job out there. 23 meters is as far the Titans could get, and they are forced to boot out of their red zone all the way down to Captain Riley Flynn. Now, Riley Flynn, he had, as he almost gets through the line there, the Raiders, they're only just sitting outside the top 8, sitting in number 10, I believe, at time of recording. A good push tonight should see them find themselves well and truly entrenched in that bottom 8 at least there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think as you said, they might find themselves in the top 8 if they win this one, but they might take the Titans' spot if they end up winning because Titans they're 5-4, 5 and actually maybe not given the Titans for and against unless we see an absolute smashing here that they won't go over Titans. But yeah, the Raiders they'll certainly go inside the top 8 if they end up winning this one.
Oh, and unfortunately the Raiders, they got a little bit line happy there, and Dom Young picks up a bit of an errant kick there from the young Raiders side. The Titans, on the other hand, they've had a couple of really close losses, which a close loss is better than a blowout, but a loss is a loss, and I don't think Captain Taupoke has been happy with how close his sides have been able to bring it to some of the other teams in the comp, Liam.
Yeah, he's never too happy when his side's not having success in this comp. It is a bit of a regression to the mean, I'd have to say, for the Titans because they were so good to start the season, and yeah, it's just hard to play that way for an entirety of the season. And yeah, I think the last few rounds have proved that. And yeah, that the Max Tarpoca, knowing him, he's certainly striving for perfection. As we say, a one-on-one ball strip. That's the first one of SRL 2.0, and yeah, I think Dom Young came up with it. That's brilliant stuff from the young fullback.
Now, that is just phenomenal work. Not only is it a one-on-one ball strip, but that's a fullback stripping it out of the arms of a winger. Normally, when we see those strips, it's from the big boys. So Raiders, they almost cough up a penalty on top of that one there. So they're going to want to be careful because it's been a pretty clean game so far. And if either of these teams really want to come out on top tonight, they need to limit some of those errors and penalties, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It's been an issue for both of these teams so far in the SRL this season, and yeah, they've just got to restrict that. As we say, grubber, but it goes straight to the hands of Nicholas Ether, and yeah, that's a bit of a poor way to end the set.
I reckon that ball was on song to go over the sideline there for the not over the sideline, sorry, just over to the winger there to go in for a try down the sideline. If it wasn't for the brilliance there of Nicholas Ether to stick his arms out. So it looks like both of these teams have turned up and both are ready to play tonight, which promises to be an electrifying night of attacking footy tonight, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good start for the attacking nature of this game. And while we haven't got points in this first 8 minutes, yeah, we've certainly seen signs that attack is going to come and the points will pile on once we get the first try here.
Speaking of Dom Young trying straight up the centre, he wasn't able to get around and he's brought down 45 metres out. Hodgie, he's been a great second rower all season so far for the Titans and he's doing his best again, making some good post-contact metres there. Weston coming across to Young. Young not able to get through that line just yet and he's pushed back hard. The Titans, they're doing what they can. That was a bit of an errant harbour ball pass there, but McLucky comes down with it 4 metres out. 30 on the line. Irvine takes up a settler, and the Titans will be relying. They might even get a cheeky little kick in here, cheeky little attacking kick. They do. Dom Young is over. That is some hectic play there from the Titans, and Dom Young is turning out to be a bit of a hero for the night for the Titans tonight, Liam.
Yeah, Dom Young, he certainly started this game absolutely on fire because he got that ball strip, obviously, the first ball strip in SRL 2.0, and now he's coming off the back of that grubber and scoring the Titans' first try this one. And Taupoke will look to convert on this one, and he'll be certainly happy with how his side started this one because they've certainly had their struggles over the last couple of weeks, and as we've mentioned, they'll be looking for a bounce back tonight, and yeah, Max will certainly be happy.
And a couple of those boys out there will definitely be wanting to stand up. We've had a couple of big announcements last week regarding the leaders of representative sides. So round 10 is the first round that a lot of these players are really going to be starting their campaign to be included in those extended squads for Origin, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think that their process will certainly begin now. They'll be really looking to get those selectors on notice and elevating their performance to the best of their abilities because, yeah, it's going to be really tight for positions because the entire SRL, we know that they're so close in those stat attributes that it can be anyone's game, particularly at the top of their positions.
And well, which do you think is going to be the most heavily fought over position there? Because with the new SRL 2.0 transition, we've had a couple of changes in how we used to hold our positions. So with the idea of edge, spine, mid, and wing fullback, that's going to really change up how some of those selectors look at those teams, Liam.
Look, I think it's hard to go past fullback because I think there's so many good fullbacks in the SRL this season that I'm finding it hard to say two definitive answers. You know, Tama Turbo's been awesome, but is he even eligible for State of Origin? Oh, you have to quote me on that. But yeah, there's fullbacks really contested. And I also think that edge factor is going to really prove hard to choose because it's just how do you decide that? Because there's players that are playing at edge, playing at center. Do you decide based on where they're playing at club, or do you, I guess, go differently and go a bit rogue and just base it off stats?
And then you've got the bench rotation, especially with how much fitness is an issue for some of those teams out there. A good speak of the devil, Dom Young is off and he's running, and he's brought down desperately on the 40. I'll come back to this Yat Fest later, Liam, because as we're talking, the Titans, they are turning up and they are attacking with ferocity.
Yeah, definitely. The Titans, they've came to play here tonight, and Dom Young, he's certainly came with a point to prove. As we see, Podgy Hodgie, he is absolutely barging toward the Titans' try line. As we see them working it forward through Tapoke with a brilliant offload. Yeah, the Titans, they are ready to score another try, and the Raiders, they're going to need to stop this before they concede another.
As Mark Lee, 5 metres out, fifth tackle, 74 metres gained there for the Titans, and lining up either side of the ruck. They force it back to McLucky, who puts it high and laterally off the boot. Bit of an interesting kick there, and Nicholas Ether is forced to bring it down just shy of the 10. Now, the Raiders, they're only 6 points down, they're facing a lot of good attack here from the Titans. I don't think they'll be worried just yet, considering how little of the ball they've actually had so far, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Raiders, they've not seen too much of the ball the last 5 minutes, particularly, and the Titans, they've just had a bit of run of possession and they're taking advantage. But I think defensively is where they have to improve because the last 5 minutes, although they didn't have much of the ball, their defense wasn't too good on Dom Young. They're going to have to improve that, really contain him as other sides have over the last couple of weeks.
As we've got almost a bit of an issue there as Tim James forgets that he's a dummy half and he has to pick up the ball and pass it instead of walking over it and then dropping it down on the 50. The Titans, this is going to be some good attacking position here. And, well, the question is, which of their strike players do they pass it to? And six against are definitely not going to help there as Fanua Blake works his way up the sideline. Coming across, we've got about 2 minutes until the bench comes on as Dom Young again steps almost through the line. Over on the Raiders, we've got the BB boys, Barker and Barge. They're coming on into one hell of a minefield at the moment. On the other side, Vakateni, he's been moved back to the bench by Max Tarpoke. And that looks like it's going to be a bit of an interesting move considering how well the Titans are going so far.
Yeah, definitely. I think that will certainly give them a bit of an edge. Is McCluskey, was he over or was he on his back? We'll have to have a look. The referee on field saying no try, but yeah, he's on his back there as yeah, it's brilliant work there from the Raiders. But as we were saying, I think Vakatani, it's a brilliant move and it's going to give them a bit of an edge when these bench boys come on. But as you mentioned, the BB boys, they've been brilliant for the Raiders and they won't let Vakatani just roll over them.
Oh, speaking of being rolled over, unfortunately, Weston is wrestled onto his back. They don't necessarily waste that fifth tackle option, but he dug way too far into the line before he could get boot to ball. So the Raiders, a little bit of a reprieve and another bit of a ball strip there. And my goodness, the Titans need to practice that a bit more because there were clearly two men in that play, in that tackle right there. And James decided to try his luck at stripping it out there, Liam.
Yeah, they might just need a bit more practice of it at training before they're implementing these in the games because it's certainly proving a bit of a 50-50 play at the minute because yeah, they just haven't had enough practice. As we say, and absolutely, you can't run without a head play from Dong Young there as the Raiders, they're going to have an opportunity inside the Titans' red zone.
And insult to injury there from Godwin. They even improve it up to the 10-meter line. So the Raiders, they're going to get first props in and off the bench. And they might not even need it here with Arnworth, 2 meters off the line. James, lovely line ball out to Nathan Flynn. Godwin pushing and on his back, inches in it there. He gets up. He has to force to take a step back. He's taking forever there, unfortunately. And, well, that was easy as all get out there as Martin just has to catch the ball, fall over the line. The Raiders, they hit back really, really quickly, and the Titans just look like they're a little bit shell-shocked there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It was a bit of poor defense there from the Titans. I'm not sure if that was who that was in the compression sleeves there, but yeah, it wasn't great defense. I thought he might have got obstructed by the goalpost, but not the case at all. And Trent Martin does a brilliant job just running his line correctly, and that's all he has to do because he caught the ball and there was a massive hole there, and yeah, he's in to score a try for the Raiders, and that ultimately allows Goblin to add the extras and make this back to a tied game.
Well, but that both sides now should have their props on, the bench props on the field. 18 minutes left to go, and the Titans, that was almost 3 errors in a row just to piggyback the Raiders off down the field. And I think, well, we said it earlier, Liam, this is probably the area of the game that the Titans have really started to let creep into their game. The last couple of matches were really probably lost based purely on their errors and penalties.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the area that Tarpock has been really vocal about. I think that they just need to stop the errors because whenever they don't make errors, they're so hard to beat here. And yeah, I just don't know why they keep inviting these errors. Some of them are just uh, they're self-inflicted, and that's what's confusing me because it shouldn't be too hard for them in theory to get rid of these self-inflicted errors. But I guess the ones that the Raiders are forcing, it's fine. But they're just making so many self-inflicted errors.
As Barker, the Raiders, they play the ball on the other side of the 50, and Flynn, a lovely kick there from the debutant all the way down to Demando. Demando, he's not had much ball tonight, and he is brought down on the other side of the 20. Speaking of the Titans wingers, oh my goodness, that was a massive hit off the ball there, and the Raiders, they're within punching meters of that line again, Liam.
Yeah, definitely the Raiders. They're fighting back here, and that was another big shot that they laid on that Titans player. And yeah, they're going to have another great opportunity on this Titans line as Tim James makes a great run. And yeah, you got to start feeling for the Titans because that was you got to think they got a bit unlucky there.
Oh, unlucky, yeah, but Flynn unfortunately is, well, unfortunately if you're a Raiders fan, flowed over onto his back. Very fortunately, if you are a Titans fan, Dom Young just able to get around the top, helped out there by a couple of errant Titans players, just to make sure that Flynn didn't get the ball down. The Raiders, they'll bring it back. They've got 2 tackles left in the set. They keep going wide. Barge taking a little bit of a settler to get at least 5 meters out. That fiery red hair getting what they can. Here we go. Boot to ball. Barnes is over. You love to see it. Somehow he got boot to ball. Wasn't ruled a knock on. And the Raiders, 2 for 2, hit back in about 5 minutes. The Titans in shambles here, Liam.
Yeah, I'm not sure about shambles, but yeah, oh. It must have just came off the boot of Godwin and went into the Titans' leg, and Mitch Barnes ends up picking that ball up and running about 5 meters to score that one. And yeah, the Raiders, they're just capitalizing on these Titans' errors. As we mentioned, it's becoming detrimental to their performance because whenever they make an error, it seems like the Raiders are capitalizing to full fruition. And yeah, it's what's leading to the Titans' downfall.
Well, in the first 10 minutes of this game, everything was going the way of the Titans and they were pulling out all the stops. Dom Young was streaming off up the field. They were stripping the ball left, right, and center. And it feels like the last 5-10 minutes, they've just really let the pedal off. And it looks like they're trying to coast home. And you definitely can't do that with a team like the Raiders.
Yeah, definitely not. The Raiders, they're no slouches, as we've mentioned before. They are brilliant when they get it on. They beat the Melbourne Storm already this season. I mean, one of the only sides to beat the Storm in the SRL 2.0. And yeah, you can't underestimate the Raiders because they will absolutely tear you apart if you do. Oh, there's an error from the Raiders. Marcus Lee with some brilliant awareness to stick around and try and get an intercept off that offload. And he does exactly that with the Titans. They're getting some brilliant field position now.
Oh, Mark Lee starting out a dummy half, pushes off one, can't push off another. Brought down 2 meters shy. Dom Young doing what he can, and he's put onto his back. So good thinking there from the Titans, but they might need to limit some of those dummy half runs because, well, they look like they're working, but the Raiders have just got enough edge to make sure they don't get over there.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're just going to need to spread the ball out a little bit wider and invite some holes into this Raiders defense because right now they're just able to compress on these dummy half runs and it's a little bit too easy.
Fourth tackle, Podgy Hodgie pushing forward, gets 2 meters shy, which is going to be very dangerous. They're going to rush up on defense here, but they pass back. McLucky puts the grubble in straight to Irby Arnworth. There was a wealth of Titans players chasing for that one, and not a single one of them knew exactly where that ball was going. So again, the Titans, they had the opportunity there, Liam, but they just weren't able to capitalize on it.
No, they weren't, and that's the difference between the Raiders and the Titans so far. The Titans, they've had a couple opportunities to take this back and level this game up, and yeah, they just weren't able to take them. And yeah, I think that kick, it was a decent kick, but as you said, the chasers, none of them seemed to chase hard enough or knew where it was, and yeah, it certainly cost them there. But it's a good defensive set from the Titans. Holding the Raiders inside their own 30 is a great result.
It's, especially if they're going to cough up with a little bit of a pressure kick there, unfortunately. And Mark Lee darts out a dummy half, a big don't argue. McLucky gets the ball. No one's going to tackle him. The Raiders somehow get around and put him onto his back. But I don't think the Raiders knew what was happening there, Liam.
No, they didn't, and I don't know what Michael McLucky was doing there. He was gathering the ball for about 2 full seconds, and yeah, it's what stopped him from scoring that try. But yeah, the Titans, they'll have pretty much a full set to try and score here, and if they don't score here, well, I think that we might have to rule them out. As we see, that's a brilliant ball out to Rano Driscoll. Don't doubt the Titans, Liam. Rano Driscoll gets some brilliant early ball out in that left wing and capitalizes, steps past his opposition winger, and yeah, the Titans, they're back after a bit of a uh, period where they struggled a little bit and went off the gas, as you mentioned, and Tapoka is looking to convert to make this game level again.
Well, Tapoke, he's had a bit of a rough season with the boot, and well, depending on how this goes, no, I think he's going to be little bit upset with his vice captain that he wasn't able to get a bit closer to the stick. So the Gold Coast Titans are 2 points behind the Raiders with just under 10 minutes left to go, and well, this game, it's been one hell of a seesawing fight here, Liam. It's hard to say exactly what's going to happen for the rest of the half, let alone the rest of the game.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's edge of your seat stuff here, and you just don't know what's going to happen. And I guess that's the fun of this game because, yeah, both these sides, they're making it a hell of a clash. And even though the errors are a bit detrimental to both sides, it's certainly fun to see some attacking footy.
Now, I just want to make sure if anyone is watching right now would be a good time to slightly rewind that because as soon as the Raiders booted that ball all the way down the field, you might have just seen a couple of Titans players run straight at the Raiders instead of straight back off down the field. So that might be a little bit of intimidation out there trying to happen to make sure that the Titans can get back in the lead. But they keep going. Fourth tackle. They're 40-20 from Fanua Blake here. It has a 40-40 feel about it, and Riley Flynn is already in the opposition half. And if you are a Titans player, that is not something you want to hear us say, is it, Liam?
No, it's not. And I feel like that kick from Ben Fanua Blake certainly exhibits why he's not playing half and why he probably didn't have a kicking license before that and why he still doesn't have one after that.
Barker, he's up over the 30 for his third. They've still got 3 tackles left in the set, and Barge just, well, does what his name does and tries to barge on through the line. 15 metres out, fourth tackle. They go wide. Godwin links up with Flynn. Lovely ball out to Riff, who comes in off his wing to make it through almost to the 10-metre line. 48 metres gained there for the Raiders. We pass it back to Godwin, who puts it deep and high and comes down to Demando, who is cool as a cucumber. 7 tackle set for the Titans and one hell of a relief there for Captain Taupoke.
Yeah, definitely. It's certainly good stuff for the Titans. They needed to catch that. That ball looked like it stayed in the air forever, and I was wondering what was going to come down. And Demando, he just did brilliantly to maintain his composure and catch that ball and take it out to the 20 with a 7 tackle set.
As Western tries his best. Second tackle, they're up to the 40 already. Taupoke lining up. Bench Buckley, he's pushed back over the 40 for his third. They might have a second tackle set, but the Titans are fighting desperately tooth and nail to get out of there. Taupoke brought down on the 50 for his fourth. Right in the middle, they go left to Podgy Hodgie, who again, some excellent running here from the Titans forwards. 37 metres gained. That can't be right. It feels like a lot more than 37 metres, but I digress. McGlucky kicks it all the way down. Riff returning the ball once more. An excellent attacking set there from the Titans, and that kick chase, just absolute perfection there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It was brilliant stuff from the Titans. That whole set, I think they did a brilliant job just by that great defensive output from the Raiders because the Raiders, they were certainly not letting them just through. As we say, Barker with a brilliant run. This is more what we'd like to see out of them, these Raiders bench forwards, as go back to Tim James. And yeah, as I mentioned, the bench forwards for the Raiders, they're certainly playing well so far.
Oh, Flinny boy. Unfortunately, Dom Young already knew what was happening. He was back there to stop that from happening. It was a good kick nonetheless, and Dom Young is stuck 35 metres out. So with about, Fanua Blake almost gets through the line. With about 3 minutes left in the in the first half. This will probably be the last set that the Titans have, he says, knowing full well that he's going to jinx at something fierce. Heading into the second half, Liam, what do both of these teams need to do coming back from the break?
Look, the Titans minimise their errors. They've made a couple of errors throughout the first half that uh, they weren't the greatest, to put it lightly, and just get rid of them because if they do that, they'll be very hard to beat in that second half. And for the Raiders, I think that they've just got to, they've got to make a bit more meterage. I don't know if it's the forwards need to play a bit better. The likes of Lucas said need to attach themselves to the game a little bit more when they're on the field. But yeah, I think they just need a bit more meterage when it counts because I think that's where they've lacked so far.
As you said his name, so he grabbed the ball and ran off down the field. Said, James, Flynn, Barnes, all these names of the Raiders lining up to take a run as Flynn breaks his way through the line. Lovely run there. They'll get to their kick at the end of this one if they don't. Well, whoa, here we go. Nathan Flynn. 30 seconds left. I don't know exactly how the Raiders kept that ball because it went absolutely everywhere. And Eads dinks it through to Riley Flynn. That is a wonderful kick there from a debutant centre. And Riley Flynn gets the Raiders over with 12 seconds left on the clock. It's about to be 18 points to 10. And Cbus Stadium has gone absolutely silent out there, Liam.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt for the Gold Coast Titans. We talk about the addition of youth. Jake Eads, what a brilliant kick. The rookie center does a brilliant job at piercing that kick right in between the two Titans defenders. I believe it was in between Max Tarpoke, and he wasn't able to stop Riley Flynn there. It's brilliant work from the fullback to get himself in that hole and reap the rewards of that. And yeah, that feels a bit hard for the Titans to take in because they've been so good the last 15 minutes or so, and yet the Raiders, they're going to go in 8 points ahead.
And we are back here at Cbus Stadium for the second half of what has been one hell of a match to start off round 10. Canberra Raiders are leading 18 points to the Gold Coast's 10, and boy, what a half we had there, Liam. We saw a little bit of everything out there.
Yeah, definitely. It was a hell of a first half. We saw it in the Gold Coast, and I went up to the stats box and found some interesting stats. So, starting with some team stats, it was 50-50 in possession in that first half, just showing how even it was. The completions were also pretty even, 12 out of 13 for the Titans, 13 out of 16 for the Raiders. Errors was also pretty similar. Three played four. That was what was crucial, I think, for both sides. So the amount of errors they've made in that first half was really what's holding them back in this one. As the Titans obviously made conceded their two penalties. Tackles were also even with about 90 out for both teams, and missed tackles about the same as well, about 10 to 15 ish for both sides. And line breaks, the Raiders had an edge on the Titans in that aspect with 10 played 7. Oh, as we say, the Titans get some good field position there. I think they might have shanked the kick there. But yeah, the meterage the Titans led by about 25-ish. So the Titans, they had that edge on meterage, and yeah, some individual contributors. The Titans, they certainly showed up on the meterage side. Dom Young had 142 meters in that first half, and Michael McLucky was certainly had a very good half, 114. And for the Raiders, the debutant Nathan Flynn, he was awesome in that first half in terms of meters. Had 98 meters in that first half, and that's brilliant for a debutant.
Yeah, unfortunately, the kicking boot for the Raiders tonight just hasn't worked out, except for that absolutely lovely. Oh, Dom Young, he almost goes over the back line there. That's 2 tonight for Dom. He absolutely lit up the first 5 minutes, and he's lighting up the first 5 minutes of this half, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. That's brilliant stuff, not only from Dom Young, but Michael McLucky, oh my God, there's only millimeters or inches in that from Dom Young. He's certainly making Max a bit nervous when he's seeing that replay as Dom Young gets his second try tonight. And yeah, certainly playing well here tonight. And the Titans, they're back in it as long as Tarpoke converts this to make it a 2-point game. It's certainly a great start from this Gold Coast side.
And there we go. That's a bit more life out there in Cbus Stadium. Tapuke goes up. He's got his 2 conversions of the night so far. 2 points in the game. Godwin looking a little bit shell shocked because, well, unfortunately, he's not the one that's been shanking the balls. It's everyone else around him. So the Raiders, they've got 36 minutes to clean up their fifth tackle option there, or they might see this one slip away for them, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It's the main, it's one of their main issues so far in this one. That's how the Titans are getting their field position because the shank kicks and then it's inviting the Titans well inside their own end. And every time you do that, it's an opportunity for the Titans to reap the rewards and uh, get another try.
Oh, that's exactly what the Raiders need. They need a couple more shoulders into the right faces as the Titans. Dom Young breaks through the line once more. He's up over just over the 40, but he passes it back to Sevilla, who streams off down the field. No Dom Young at home. That was a horror. That was basically a rags to riches, hero to villain story there for Dom Young. And if the Raiders go over the try line here, Dom Young is going to have a lot to say to by his captain there, Liam.
Yeah, that's not great stuff from Dom Young, but oh, he might be made all right from that awful Dom Young pass. But Lucas said manages to pick up that ball and not make that an error. But yeah, Dom Young, it wasn't great from him on the error, and he will certainly be praying that his side can uh, get the Raiders away from this on this attacking output.
Oh, and unfortunately, Nathan Flynn, he decides to just pocket the ball, take a run up, and rely on the defense to keep the Titans down here. Which, I mean, they've got plenty of time left in the field in the half, but that is not how you want your rookie number 6 to be playing out there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely not. It's a hard role for a rookie number six to play, and I think that's why I was so impressed by his meterage in that first half. 98 meters, it's nothing to slouch at, and he did a good job in that first half. But I think it's just hard to play a full 80 minutes of a number six, and I think you've really got to appreciate the number sixes for how well they play because it's not an easy position, and they make it look so seamless, and I don't think they get appreciated enough for their role.
Oh, as we see one of our really good matchups there between the fullbacks, Riley Flynn trying to get around Dom Young. And, well, Riley Flynn, he didn't have a lot of run meters in that first half, Liam, even though he stepped up and scored that final try. As we get a 6 again there for the Titans. That is not good out there from the home team.
No, it's not, but they get a bit lucky there with a forward pass. Uh, so I'm not sure the Titans deserve that after giving away a six again, but they managed to halt the Raiders there, and they've got great field position again. And yeah, as we mentioned, it's the errors for both these teams. They're just making self-inflicted errors. That was nothing to do with how the Titans defended that one, and yeah, the Raiders they've really got to stop that because it's stopping their chances from winning this.
As Bradley Parks plays it. Oh, I don't know how Vakateni picked that one up as O'Driscoll comes down with it and pushed back the Titans. They're throwing it around a little bit too seamlessly at the moment as Fanua Blake links it up with Vakateni and they at least get into the red zone. They'll probably pass it back. I'm probably going to guess they give it to McLucky here for a big boot in the air. They do. Lovely kick chase, but Tenavisi Barnes comes down with it. There is no question of who was going to have that one. I even think the Titans' kick chase was way offside there, Liam.
It looked like they were because whoever was kick chasing just didn't seem interested enough in chasing Tenavisi Barnes. He looked like he wanted to stay uh, away from that 5 meters because otherwise he was going to get penalised, and he just didn't want the ref to be too interested in that.
As Barnes can't really push forward. He's looking a little bit tired out there as Godwin just puts it in his pocket and runs up to the 40. They've only got to the 40 for their third tackle so far as Tim James. Ooh, he pierces the line just, and they get into the Titans' half for their fourth tackle. The Raiders, they need to find some attacking form here, kind of like what they had in the first half, because if they don't do a little bit more proactively here. The Titans, they're just going to grind them out. The Titans, they're a team that can kick with you with the stamina and just wait till you make those errors and pounce when you're most tired there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the things that they're so good at, and yeah, fitness wise, they do not lay down on you. And the Titans, they They'll see this out if they have to. I think they love the grind, and it's certainly not a fight that you want to go with them because I think that they're one of the best sides in the SRL at it.
As for Noah Blake, just shy of the 50. Vakateni, he's been good off the bench all night, and he's making some hard run meters there for his captain. Just shy of the 50 there for his, just shy of the 40, I should say. McLucky just skimming it over the head of the bloke in front of him. And here comes Riff. He gets through around the first one, but he can't get off the second. It looks like we're hitting that period of the game where both sides are basically hitting that arm wrestle, and it's going to be whoever has the worst stamina to break first, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's about who has the worst fitness between the two sides, and I think it is the Raiders, to be honest. But I hope I'm proven wrong because, yeah, I do love a bit of an underdog here. As the Titans are probably favourites to get this one done with this knowledge of the fitness of the game for them. But yeah, the Raiders they're doing a decent job so far to just get through their sets.
And that was a good kick there from Flynn, who kicks it all the way down to Demando, who's had, again, no luck tonight, unfortunately. He's been covered and smothered all night over there on that edge. O'Driscoll pushing hard up the tram tracks, just shy of the 40 for their second. Very slow play the ball there for the second rower as Buckley and Vakateni bench props linking up to get up to the 40. The Raiders are slowly turning up in defense here. They need to make sure they can stop any of those line breaks. Hills is pushed back to the 40. They might try a 40-20 kick here as, well, they tried one and it was a dismal failure there, unfortunately. And the Raiders, they're in the best field position they've had almost all of the second half here, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. They reap the rewards off a very poor kick from the captain, I think. And yeah, as we see, another poor error, and yeah, that's what we've been seeing late in games with the fitness, the stamina halting at the end of games. And as I said, I think the Raiders, they might be the ones to crack first here because we just saw they're starting to invite the errors.
Yeah, those prop in can't happen too soon if you're a Raiders fan, as Dom Young tries to pierce the line and is brought down. Lee, Noah Blake, he's getting a lot of ball in the second half and he's making some good meters when he's not trying to kick the thing. 42 meters, fifth tackle. They're going to have a boot down here for McLucky. And of course, it's off to Riff again. They're not chancing it over there with Tenebisi Barnes. They think they've got Riff locked down. And as long as, again, they can keep Flynn from running up off the field, the Titans, they find themselves in pretty decent position here, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've done well to hold the Raiders inside their own 30 on the third tackle. And as long as they can stop a line break or two from happening here, they're going to be in great position when they get this ball back.
Oh, speak of great position. Riff is forced over the sideline, and the Titans are going to have a full set of 6, basically in the red zone here.
Yeah, definitely. It was as the referees tried to seeing something for the Raiders and on that error and maybe change his decision there, or because he's called offside. And hey, mate, you might have to explain that one because I don't really understand.
No, I think maybe one of the markers maybe had their hand in the ruck for a little bit, and the ref is just giving them a bit of a warning there, and that's the only thing I can come up with to try to justify that kind of glitch that we have every now and then. The Raiders were blowing up about it last week, and thankfully for them, the SRL gods smiling on them at the moment as Martin coming down on the 23rd tackle. They've got 3 tackles left in the red zone here as Tim James sees an open line, knocks the ball on just before he gets there, and talk about a comedy of errors because somehow the Raiders don't score off what was nothing but an open line there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. It was a brilliant effort from Dom Young. He's having a night tonight, and he'll be patting himself on the back there for some brilliant defence. We know him as the try scorer, scoring a double so far, and he saves another one there. And yeah, the Titans, they get out of trouble here.
Oh, there he is again. He is looking very tired out there, young Dom Young, and he's playing it on the 30 for his third. Little bit of an overrunning there as Demando at least gets to the 40. They're going to have a good chance of a kick here. Give it to McLucky. No, Western. Lovely boot there from Western. And it is in touch. Not a 40-20 though. It looks like Riley Flynn was forced to take it over the touchline. And, well, the replay is just going to show us how close this was, Liam.
Yeah, definitely, and it's yeah, I think you were right. Oh no, it came with his boot, and then he picked it up, and oh, a bit of poor stuff from Riley Flynn. But I guess it was going to be a 40-20 regardless, so had to try and play out that ball, but maybe should have just done it earlier because probably wouldn't have ran out.
There's Lenny O'Driscoll held up over the line. The refs decide not to use the bunker. They've used the bunker enough tonight, apparently, and they bring it back to the 10. Blindside. Watch out if you're a Raiders fan. As a swan dive over, Demando finally gets his try of the night, and the Titans, they regain the lead.
Yeah, they certainly do. It's brilliant stuff from Xavier Demando. Came in field, trying to help out his captain, Max Tarpoke, making an easier conversion here as he struggled with the ones out wide tonight. And yeah, it's brilliant stuff from the young winger to get his side the lead back as the Titans, they finally capitalise on one of these Raiders' errors.
Well, Tarpoke, yep, that goes over. So that's a 4-point difference in the tries tonight out there. 16 minutes left. We're about to have some lock interchanges. Well, at least for the Raiders, because as we all know, the Titans, they like to run with an 80-minute lock there. He is hoping that Max Tarpoke can actually last these last 16 minutes, because I don't know what it's like down there in the field, but it has looked brutal from up here in the box, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Max Tarpoka has been working on that ability to just stay in games in these long abilities. I think he's better suited to it than he was in about 3 weeks ago when he was repeatedly getting injured. So he's uh, got the body ready to be playing 80 minutes, and I think that's attribute of him. I think he's really worked on that conditioning of that body.
As a bit of a slow play the ball, Tarpoke getting up to the 40, third tackle. They're not going to have a 40-20 kick opportunity this time, and unfortunately, because Western, he absolutely nailed it last time, they get up over on the 50, I should say, for their fourth. A good run here should see a good chance for pinning the Raiders down in their half. It won't be a kick from McLucky, though. They'll probably, if they've got any smarts about them, be passing it off to Western. Nope, they pass it back to the captain, who gives a shocker to Trent Martin and basically invites the Raiders to attack in their own half.
Oh, who allowed this captain to kick twice, particularly after that 40-20 attempt? That was absolutely poor stuff. I don't know why he had another go at it. Just give it back to your two halves. Let the halves have a kick there and not invite the Raiders inside your half again.
Oh, there's Tim James and Riley Flynn. They trade dummy half dodgers here as Ether at least gets up to the 20. They might put in a bit of an attacking kick here if they get it to the right person. They get it to Godwin, who puts it in. The rookie Eads comes up with it. They bring it down 20 meters or so out, which isn't the best set there for the Raiders. If they can put a good, decent defensive set on here for the Titans, however, they could find themselves back in an attacking position soon, though, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think that with some good defense, they'll be able to get back in the Titans' half and have an opportunity later in this game. I think they're playing a bit of a long game here, but yeah, Fanua Blake taking it forward, and the Titans they're in a bit of cruise control at the moment because it seems like it's coming easily to them.
As Young, he gets around the first defender, but he can't get around the second. They were here not one set ago, but they need to give it to the right person for the right kick. McLucky is that person. And Riff can't get around that tackle defense, unfortunately. So the Raiders, they've got time. They've got 11 minutes. There's only 4 points in it. Everyone's been rotated out. Who is out there stays out there unless there's some problems. And the Titans, they've really sort of ramped it up now. The Raiders, third tackle, they're only just out over their 20. Passing across, Lucas said, that's exactly what they need. He's up over the 30 for their fourth. They need to do something more here because they can't be bogged down in their own half. This is exactly what the Titans want from their opposition teams. 10 minutes left. They're kicking from their 40. And, well, again, they're kicking it all the way down here to Rain O'Driscoll. Probably a smart move, especially considering Demando and all he's been able to do tonight for the Titans.
Yeah, definitely. It's a smart move there to kick down there and not kick it down to the promise of Xavier Demando. He's been able to tear up this Raiders defense all night, so it's a good choice going down to O'Driscoll.
Titans, they're ever so slowly inching up the field for Noah Blake. Coming down wide, blind, I should say, as Parks gets around, and he is ushered over. So that's some beautiful defense there, and I think that was from James Godwin covering a tackle. Yep, there he is. Godwin gets around him, forces him over the sideline, and I think the Raiders, they needed that one because it looked like there was no air left in the lungs there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. They're breathing a sigh of relief there, the Raiders, and they'll be looking to find that last gasp in terms of attack because 8 minutes to go, and if they're ever going to mount an attack here, I think it has to be now because there's a big shot. As I said, needed to come now, but always will say captain's challenge.
Yeah, Nathan Flynn, he came out of dummy half. Luciano just puts the shoulder in. He says, "Get that up, you rookie." Straight across, hands over him, and challenge is unsuccessful. That was just a Hail Mary of a challenge, I think, there, because the Raiders, they desperately need to hold on here, because if the Titans go over for one more, that's it, and it's game over.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was just a pray and hope that the bunker wouldn't rule as unsuccessful and saw something that they didn't on that play, and they didn't. And the Titans, they'll have another opportunity here to try and get another one and really put them away here.
As Dom passes off to Weston. Weston, he hits the line. It's going to take him out of kicking duty. Hopefully they pass it back to McLucky right now. And no, they're passing it all along the line. They try to spread it. Dom Young comes down with it. And that's a good set there from the Titans. They don't need to score as long as they can keep the Raiders down here. And with 6 minutes left to go, it's slowly running out of time here for the Raiders if they can't force their way up the field, Liam.
Yeah, it definitely is. 6 minutes to go now. It's just proving harder and harder every minute they don't score here. And as we mentioned earlier, this stamina, it won't be helping them because as games go on, the Titans' stamina might be going down, but so is theirs. So the ability to mount pressure on this Titans' defensive line, it might prove harder as we move along into this last 5 minutes.
Well, as Riff is almost shepherded off over the sideline. Fifth tackle, 5 minutes left. They're kicking from inside their half again. And here comes Sed. Lovely kick there from the stand-in lock. All the way down to Dom Young. And that man has had one hell of a night. Even though he might be looking a little bit tired there, he's done absolutely everything, whether it be attack, defense, or no, speak of the devil, the Raiders have come up with it, given a 6 again, and this is going to be a crucial moment here for the Titans. Eads, push back to the 20. That's first tackle. Very slow play of the ball. The Titans, they can't afford to keep doing that. Lucas said, hits it up the guts, but he's pushed straight back almost to the 20. They come this way. Eads linking up with Godwin. Lovely ball to Ether, who pushes forward for another 10 meters. Third tackle. They've got 3 left. Lovely quick play of the ball. Arnworth pushing and pushing and pushing. 2 meters out. Fourth tackle. The Raiders. Here they come. It is over. The debutant. He might just have won it for the Raiders. It's 22 all with 1 kick left to come here, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. Jake Eads on debut. What a performance from the young lad. He's set up that try earlier to Riley Flynn, and now he scored a try. What a debut, son. If this ends up being the difference in this one, he's certainly going to get a lot of pats on his back from these Raiders teammates because he has proved the difference.
And there it is. It's a 2-point game. There's 2.5 minutes left. The Raiders, they just need to hold on to the ball. They need to finish their set. They need to kick it down the field, complete their tackles, and they will have won it here against all the odds. Liam, what do the Titans need to do?
The Titans, they absolutely need to spread the ball out. I know Tom Young's tired. Just give him the ball. Just give him a chance. Give him some early ball. I think you've also got to give Xavier Demando some early ball if you can. I think he should have some energy out there on his right wing. I think that he's been really hard to stop for this Raiders defense, and yeah, just spreading it out to him. Maybe getting Chris Weston the running of the footy. He's been so dangerous throughout the season, but a bit of a halt the last couple of weeks. But yeah, just get it to your attacking superstars.
Unworth, he brings it down on the 30, third tackle. Eads, he's had an absolute blinder of a second half. That's promising start here for the Raiders. They're 40-20 opportunity. They need to nail this kick. Godwin crosses across. There's no Titans back there. The bounce comes up. Flynn, that's an excellent return. 40 seconds left. That's 73 meters gained. Absolutely perfect. I'm absolutely speechless there. That was the perfect scenario there for the Raiders. Tim James holds on to the ball, and as long as they can hold out for 2 tackles, the Raiders have won, Liam.
Might even not even be 2 tackles. It's like Demando's gonna have to play it very quickly. Demando, no, he doesn't. That's the game. 24 points to 22. The Raiders, they end up stealing it at the death, and as we mentioned, I'm just in awe of how good that was from the Raiders. You rarely see that kicked and get it back, and it played out perfectly for them.
And well, those stats just show how close a game it was out there. 2 points is the difference, 4 tries apiece, 50-50 possession, but those completions. 24-28 for the Titans, 24-32 for the Raiders. Somehow the Raiders have won. I'm willing to say that the Titans, they were probably the better team out there tonight, Liam.
Yeah, just failed to capitalize on their chances, didn't they? And it proved costly in them because I thought we were going to be sitting here with the Titans. They were going to post home with the last 5 minutes, but yeah, they ended up conceding that late try, and Jake Eads stole it from them. But yeah, the tackles were even pretty much too. But missed tackles, 9 more missed tackles for the Raiders. They just looking down, it proves everything we're saying. Like it looks like it should be a Titans win, but it just wasn't. And yeah, meterage. I think the Raiders definitely were stronger in that second half. Ended up being 16 more meters, but yeah, it was all these stats to me. They look like it should be a Titans win.
As we come across to some individuals here, and well, we're going to see some big meters run from some of these boys. Ben Fanua Blake, 108 run meters there for someone who was floating in and around the center. That's phenomenal there from a center. Marcus Lee, 104. Taupoke, the captain, 104. 28 tackles. We'll ignore the errors and the penalties, unfortunately, but that's a good captain's knockout there for the Titans captain. And well, that's 2 games in a row. The Titans have basically just lost it in the last 5 or so minutes there, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. I think Michael McLucky, he can certainly hold his head high. He was really strong tonight. 186 run meters, had the 359 kick meters, 2 try assists. He had the error, but still, I thought he was one of the best on ground for the Titans tonight. Chris Weston, his halves partner, strong with run meters, 136. Uh, Dom Young though, yeah, that's where it lies. 261 running meters. He was absolutely everywhere for the Titans. We'll ignore the errors. He had the 1 try assist, 2 tries, and he had the 5 line breaks. He was absolutely everywhere for the Titans, and he even had 8 tackles and none missed. So, brilliant effort from the young fullback. Hold your head high, mate, because you were awesome.
As we bring it across here for the Raiders, the unlikely underdogs who've won this one tonight, Nathan Flynn take a bow. Those debutant numbers, 145 run meters, 7 tackles, 1 missed. A line break for a half is phenomenal. 5 kicks for 216. I'm going to ignore the errors column because he's, first game out there, you can make a couple of errors. And one of those is basically because you copped a shoulder to the face. So you can't really fault that, but a good show so far there for the debutant.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jake Eads, the other debutant, was certainly huge. Got them the match winner, 54 meters, a try and the try assist. I thought he was little bit better than that, but the stats didn't seem to agree on run meters. Irby Armworth solid as always, 148 meters out back row, although we'll ignore the missed tackles, 11 tackles, and a certain amount of miss that we won't discuss. 126 meters from Flynn. He was reasonably quiet, I thought, tonight. Maybe he just needs to elevate his game a little bit more towards Origin. He did have that try, but I think that was a bit set up more by the brilliant work of Eads rather than anything. As we scroll down for the Raiders, Rahul Kowal, 17 tackles, not missed. 131 meters from Barnes is solid, I think, at lock, playing the 65 meters, although you probably expect a little bit more. We'll ignore the errors. But yeah, I mean, there's not really too many key performers in terms of run meters for the Raiders.
No, in terms of team, they played well out there. Way too many errors. I think Riley Flynn will be taking his team back to the dressing rooms after the game and just hammering home how close they came to losing this one tonight. And looking forward to next week. Well, the Raiders, they've got some tough competition because whilst they versed the Titans this week, um, in round 11, the Raiders, just quickly, they're up against the Queensland Cowboys. And if you're talking about a team that is desperate for a win, the Cowboys are definitely that team, Liam.
Yeah, definitely. But the Cowboys, they've certainly struggled. So maybe they'll look at it on the other side. But as we look to the Titans next week, they play the Bulldogs at home. And that's not an easy matchup either because the Bulldogs, they've certainly improved.
Yeah, well, that they'll definitely be looking for a win next week after my Eels boys flog them. And with that, that'll be it for the week. I'm AMAC in the box with Liam Ryan, I should say. This has been the first of what is going to prove to be one hell of a round. I can almost feel it right now. Enjoy the rest of your night.